Lawin Media Network.
Bringing to you the most relevant content across all platforms.
Business, legal, politics, health, lifestyle, and entertainment.
Your source for all the news and updates in the greater Houston community, from Texas and all over the world.
Get informed and empowered with
Lawin Media Network.
The following program is produced by Lawn Media Network. The views and opinions expressed in this program are solely those of the individuals appearing on the show and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Lawn Media Network, its affiliates, sponsors, or partners. The information provided in this episode is for general informational purposes only and may not reflect the current law in your state or country. By watching and listening to our episode, you understand that no information contained in this episode should be construed as legal advice and no attorney-client relationship between you, the host, or guest. You are advised to seek legal counsel concerning your legal question or concern from a lawyer licensed in your state, country, or appropriate licensing jurisdiction.
Okay, we are live. Kamusta, Atty Aileen? Attorney Aileen?
I'm good. Kamusta, Christian?
Okay din. Mukhang busy ah.
It's been a very busy week for me. I have back-to-back hearings this week, so
Wow, always.
many deadlines.
But how are you feeling about our episode tonight?
Well, I'm actually excited because I think this is a very important topic because we may not realize that probate is important because some people think they don't need probate.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on they will realize that, oh, we should have done this long time ago. So it's important that we all know that, that if somebody passed away and that person left properties, it has to be probated, no matter what kind of probate, because probate is it's not just one type. So, and you'll know that when we talk about it tonight.
As always, parang nasa huli ang pagsisisi sa Pinoy. Is that like a mostly like a Filipino thing, or do you have culturally, do your clients on probate, are they more of like Asian, or are they more like another cultures?
Well, I think it depends on the person. Then maybe culture has a part of it. Like, for example, in the Philippines, our great grandparents passed away long time ago, and the house still there, the family house, the family home still there. We call it ancestral home, right? It's been there. We're living in that ancestral for 30 years. And then when we realized, oh, wait a minute, we need to sell the property. And that's when probate sets in, like, oh my gosh, we have to probate it because we can't sell the property unless it's on our name. Same thing here. You can't sell it unless you own it. So then in order for you to own the property, you'll have to transfer it. And in order for you to transfer it, you'll have to have the proper documents, court order. And that's when you realize, oh, we still have to probate it.
And it's more complicated now because of the person.
Yes, because it's been a long time. There's some penalties,
Wow.
estate tax in the Philippines here. Although in Texas we don't have estate tax, but we still have to pay for taxes or other penalties because we didn't do it during the time you're supposed to do it.
I feel like that's already good conversation, but we haven't.
I know, right? We already started it. But anyway, Christian, okay, so how about you?
Good. I'm doing good. Just catching up with the different projects and also preparing mine too. So watch out. But yeah, also let's remind people of why you're doing this and why Lawin Network is doing this, and your cause for like having legal like advice for everyone.
Thank you, Christian, for reminding me all the time. Okay, so we're doing legal treats. This is actually my treat for you. Yeah, I'm looking at the wrong camera. It's right over there. Yeah, so this is my treats for you. It's free information, free knowledge that I'd like you also to share it. And this is part of my campaign to make sure, to make the law available to all. I know that there are a lot of information online, your Google University, but remember that those information that you get online may or may not be complete, or may not be true, so you still have to consult, of course, the professionals. So whatever industry, whatever type of research you're doing, you always have to resort to consulting with the professionals who know the field.
All right, and with that, we'd also like to thank the Philippine American Chamber of Commerce, Lawin Media Network for making this possible. And if you're probably watching this live right now on YouTube or Facebook, but if not, it's still gonna be recorded there and on different podcast platforms like
And you have the
Spotify.
list.
Yeah, so much. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Player FM, Good Pods, Podcast Index, Stitcher, Pandora, and Pocket Cast. Yeah.
All right, I'm trying to fix my water bottle.
Yeah, I'll keep them distracted while you're doing
Okay,
that.
I know. I'm
But yeah,
distracted by
so
water bottle.
I've been thinking about like yeah, go ahead, and I've been thinking about the ebook too. So you want to talk about the ebook?
Yeah, so we would like to share with you the link. So if you can show
Mhm.
the ebook, it's free for you to download. You only need to, I think, register, put in your email address so you can get the link. And once you are able to get the link, feel free to use it. This is a lot of legal knowledge in terms of estate planning, including wills. Can we please
Mhm.
show the
The table of
table of
contents.
contents? There you go. So you'll see there the type of wills, the different types of will, and of course probate. Why do you need to do estate planning? What are the benefits, and some other legal knowledge that you will probably encounter later on when you're doing your estate planning. So this will be very helpful in terms of understanding the law.
Mhm.
This is not Google University, so at least you know that an attorney reviewed the content,
Mhm.
so you can rely on it.
Wow, yeah. And also if you're watching, the website is on the bar below. So you could just type it in and while you're listening to us, right? So it's
Yes.
like good guidance while you're filling up your workbook.
Yes, and also if you lost the link, feel free to message Lawin Media Network. Somebody
Mhm.
will definitely get back to you and will give you that information.
All right. So what are we gonna talk about today?
I just already mentioned earlier. I talk about it.
Obviously, I'm not listening.
No, I mean you also told me that we already started the discussion, but this is actually today's session is part of a series of sessions about estate planning. Now, next month, I'd
Mhm.
like to give you a heads up. We're gonna have a pretty much different kind of discussion.
Wow.
Probably you're probably not interested because
No,
may
no,
not
no.
apply to you, but it may apply
Hopefully,
to people
hopefully
like
never.
but watch out for that. But today we're going to talk about probate. So a lot of people are asking me, what is probate? And sometimes, even if we're already doing the probate, they still don't understand what is going on, what probate is
Mhm.
for. Why do we need to do it? What about if I don't have a will? Do I still need to go do probate?
Mhm.
And so what happens after probate? So before, during, and after probate, and who needs probate?
Yeah.
I mean, when do you do it? Those are lots common questions that I get in terms of probate. So Christian,
Mhm.
um, when you say probate, what comes into your mind? Do you have any
Well,
idea at all?
it comes from the Latin word. No,
No,
I'm joking. I don't know.
I didn't even know a Latin word. So it's like, what are you talking
I
about?
was gonna no, I was gonna ask you like, is there like a Filipino for probate? Did they also
Uh, yeah, of course. There's probate in the Philippines,
like they
but there's
translate it to
I don't know how do you. Is there a Tagalog term for
right? If you
probate?
know, if you're watching and you know, feel
Well,
free to
most
comment.
most of the time you'll probably know it. Uh, you, using the term extrajudicial settlement, EJS, because most of the
Mm.
time, people there, they do extrajudicial settlement. That means, is really not following the will, maybe because a lot of people are they don't have a will, so it's not
Mhm.
very common to probate a will in the Philippines because not everybody, like most of, I don't know, maybe 20% will think about having a will in the Philippines, and even if there is, they usually don't go to court and have it probated.
So if you didn't do everything that we talked about like the past months, you end up in probate.
Yeah, like what, everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, actually, if you have a will,
Mhm.
if a person pass away with a will,
Mhm.
you have to go to court and probate that will.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, if a person pass away without a will, you still have to go to court and do probate. It's just a term of,
Mm.
whether you pass away with a will or without a will. It's just different process
Mhm.
if there's a will and there's no will. For sure, if there's no will, it's a longer process, and I think you will definitely for sure spend more
Mm.
in terms of probating it or going through the process. Because if somebody passed away without a will, you'll have to do the intestate succession, which means that you'll have to find all the heirs
Oh wow.
to, because that's the first part of it, determination who are the heirs.
Mhm.
And then after that, administration of the estate. When you say administration of the estate, payment of expenses, estate tax, applicable taxes, and also the distribution of the property according to Texas law. Same thing in the Philippines according to the Philippine law. Now, if the person passed away with a will, then it's different. It's a different process again, because you this time you have a document that you will bring to court and show it to the judge and say, "Judge, please approve that this will is valid." So
Mm.
that's probate.
Yeah.
A lot,
For yeah,
a lot
that's
to
I
take
was gonna
in.
say that's still a lot for me.
Okay.
But like, what is the basics? I guess like, what's the first step that happens? Do we discuss like, oh, if you have a will, this is what happens. If you don't, this is what happens. Or
Well, we can do that. Basically, I'm thinking that we can discuss about probate of a will today because it's already
sure.
like, but we can also talk about probate if there is no will. We can
Mm-hmm.
squeeze it in because, like I said, next month we'll be
Mm.
talking about totally different topics. So we're gonna, take a break from talking about
Death.
estate planning and death and will probate and all that, right? So yeah, well, we can talk about that. But if you say the word probate, what comes into your mind is legal process, court
Mm-hmm.
process.
Mm-hmm.
So here in Texas and even in the Philippines, you need an attorney to probate a will. Sadly, you cannot do it on your own. You're not
Mm.
allowed to do it pro se. When we say pro se, you are doing it on your own. You don't have an attorney.
Mm-hmm.
But in probate, you need an attorney to actually do the probate. It's a legal
Is
process
there a reason why?
because it's very technical and there's a lot of steps there that a layman will not understand. And if you
Mm.
don't do it right, it may cost you much or lose inheritance, and
Mm.
it'll be there will be a lot of complexity that's going to happen if you don't do it right. Just
Mm.
imagine one heir not receiving what he or she's supposed to receive because you messed it up because you didn't know what
Mm-hmm.
to do. So you want to avoid that, and also it's a lot of legal works. That's
I
why
bet.
you will need an attorney to do it.
Before we start, do you wanna take a break and
No, I don't want to take
okay.
break. Okay,
Water break.
yeah, we can start talking about it in depth. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When we come back after a short break.
All right, we're back.
Yes, we're back, Christian.
And I also want to greet one of our viewers who's watching from Dumaguete City. Hi, Liza.
Hello, Lysel. And of course, if you are watching with us right now, please feel free to post your comments, questions, shout outs, and Christian and I
Yeah.
will read them throughout the show. And I'd like to greet my mom and my tatay in heaven, my nanay in the Philippines. She's in Pangasinan, and my tatay in heaven. Happy anniversary. This is supposed to be, today is supposed to be their 52nd wedding anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
And I remember
Wow.
when we were growing up, every year we really celebrated, and we make cards. Like
Oh.
it's we don't buy cards, we have to make it
Mm-hmm.
because we have to put our efforts in there,
Yeah.
and then we write our very um, what emotional
Oh.
message, and then we read them, during
Wow.
their
Do your
anniversary.
kids do that now?
Oh, yeah, I have to bribe them. Like you have to, and I have to buy my own cards. Say, okay, write a
Like pass
message
pass
there.
by the dollar
I
store.
know, right? And then okay, here's a card. Write the message for me. So yeah, it's different nowadays because, I think because of the digital
Mm-hmm.
age. So my son, he's an artist, a visual
Mm-hmm.
artist. So he kind of do um, some things electronically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but
They'll email you.
for the little one, she'll probably just gonna draw on the wall. And this is my message for you, mommies.
Wow. All right, going back.
Yes,
Probate.
probate. So we're gonna talk about probate really now,
Mm-hmm.
huh?
Yes,
Okay,
this is it.
this is it. So okay, so probate, like I said, it's a legal process. So if the person passed away with a will, the first thing you need to do, if the person passed away with a will, the first thing you need to do is to find a will.
Mm-hmm.
So if you know your parents, they have a will somewhere there, or you don't know where the will is located, you better ask them now. You need to know where the will is located.
What's a good hiding place for
Oh well,
under the mattress?
no, that's not safe either. So have a I don't know,
A
a
safe.
safe in the house. Not necessarily. I always tell my clients not to put their will in a safety deposit
Mm.
in banks, because sometimes it's not easy to get it from there. We need a court order to open the safety deposit.
Is it also like do people also do it like the lawyer keeps it or no?
I don't.
Mm.
Yeah, but let's say for example here in Harris County, you can deposit your original will if you know that you're gonna die in Harris County.
Oh wow.
You can deposit your will in Harris County, but I also don't recommend that to my clients, because if they move,
Oh.
let's say for example they move to a different county,
Mm-hmm.
not in Harris. Let's say they moved
Like
in
even Brazoria, like still
Brazoria or
close.
Stafford, or was that I'm not Stafford, Fort Bend,
Mm-hmm.
Galveston. So then you'll have to get that original will there, request, apply for
Mm.
it because it was deposited there. So I would rather recommend that you keep it in a safety deposit, a safety box in your house.
Mm. And like tell a friend where it is.
Yes, and if you, yeah, and also not necessarily a friend, somebody you trust.
Mm.
Not all friends, No, but of course you need to tell your executor, because in the will you named executor, right?
Mm.
And again, who's the executor? The one who will go to court later on and
Mm.
present that will for probate. So that's why your executor needs to know where your original your original will is located. Now you can make copies and give a copy to your executor, to your if you want to share it,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't have to, because your heirs basically. I mean, I'm telling my clients, it depends on your relationship in the family if you want to give a copy of your will to your children or to your beneficiaries.
Mm.
I mean, who knows? You're still alive. They're already fighting over what they're getting, right? So,
If are like the copies legally binding, or does it have to be original? Like, what if the original, like, they still lost it, but they have a copy of it?
A good question. Yes, you can probate a copy if you lost the original. You
Mm,
just need to, bring witnesses or at least show some proof that the original exists, and you have to explain to the court why the original is missing. So
mm.
there are more steps to do if you are probating a copy instead of the original. So yeah.
All right. What's the next step then?
Okay, so the first step is, of course, you need to find a will, right?
Mm-hmm.
The second step is secure the estate.
Mm-hmm.
Like the house, the content of the house, everything that the person who passed away owned, at the time of death. And because you're gonna have to do an inventory later on. Now imagine this: if a diamond ring that everybody knows in the family, she has a diamond ring, and this diamond ring, everybody knows that the person who passed away is giving that to, let's say, the eldest.
Mm-hmm.
Here comes the eldest. Where's the diamond ring?
They
And
buried it with the person.
well, and then you realize that, oh, the second one took it. So you
Ah.
gotta have to secure the estate of the deceased person.
So no one gets anything until like they
No
all
one, you
agree.
cannot sell anything. You
Oh
cannot you
wow.
cannot dispose anything. The only thing that you can do is withdraw money from the banks to
Mm-hmm.
pay for like the minimal expenses,
Mm-hmm.
like maintenance of the house while you're doing the probate, or before you, at least, while you're settling the estate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so secure the estate, because people are like, oh, she passed away. I like this one. I like this
Yeah,
one. They're
yeah.
getting
They
all this cool
or just
stuff.
have like an estate sale and just sell
Just
everything.
like in one of my clients, um, she was complaining because she said that, well, it's a kind of complicated case
Mm-hmm.
because there's a prior family,
Mm-hmm.
and when the person passed away, here comes the ex-wife and children from the prior marriage. They went to the house and took the guns because he has a lot of guns. They took all the guns, and she can't do anything at the time. I remember that. um, and so it's hard to get it back from them. I mean,
Wow.
once
Yeah,
it's
I'm not
out,
gonna try.
it's hard to get it back from them.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's why you have to secure. And then there's other instance that, if there's no one living in the house, let's say for example, the deceased has a house, has a lot of valuables inside the house, so no one lives there, and you, the executor, doesn't live there.
Mm-hmm.
um, you cannot just leave the property there, I mean the valuables, because
Mm.
it is, you don't know what's going to happen, because in one case, well, I'm actually still handling that case right now. The house was burglarized,
Oh wow.
and they took the value,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a
The stuff
lot
on
of
the will.
valuables, yes, in the house.
Mm-hmm.
So basically the house is almost empty.
Wow.
So we didn't realize that, because we didn't realize the area
Mm-hmm.
is not a good area. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Or maybe like
has
people knew that this person passed away, so there's no
and there's
people in
no
the
one
house.
there. So like homeless
Mm.
people getting inside, taking out stuff. So it's important to secure those valuables. You can put them in a storage if
Mm.
no one is going to stay there while we are doing the probate.
For the first case, when you said like people took the guns before the will was like I guess like processed, is that like stealing or like what is that like?
Yeah, you can actually bring them to court. But the thing
Mm.
is, yeah, you can do that, and it's just going to complicate the matter. I mean, the,
Mm.
the process, again, that's what I'm saying. So do not allow them to take anything out of the house if ever they come there and try to get some
Makes
stuff.
sense because like this person, the person who passed, like made the will to protect their property, and it's like one of their wishes to
Hmm.
protect them, so might as well like actually like take care of it, and rather than just leaving it there, because this person before they died they prepared for it, so it's just like
Yes.
respecting their
Yeah,
wishes.
like for example, you have collectibles.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, what
Yeah.
do you collect? Coins?
uh Nothing
Nothing.
valuable. Cameras,
Cameras.
yeah.
Yeah, and you wanted to give those cameras to your
Mm-hmm.
brother.
Mm-hmm.
to your dear brother. You have a brother?
No.
No, okay, sister. To your dear sister, and then you put it in a will, and then you feel good after that because oh, it's secured.
It's
I'm
going to
good
good
now. Yeah.
hands.
And then all of a sudden it was burglarized after your death,
Mm,
and then they're all gone. So there you go. How are you gonna um do it? How are you gonna
yeah.
give those items if they're no longer exist?
Mm,
So, well, that's different when the gift lapse. So when we say lapse, let's say for example, uh, let's say you're giving your Lexus
mm,
to your sister,
mm-hmm.
and at the time of your death, the Lexus is already gone because you already sold it before you passed away. So
Oh.
the gift lapsed already. So because it's lapsed, it's no longer available at the time. You the your sister cannot convert it into some kind of an amount and get it from your estate because
Mm,
what you're giving is no longer there. It doesn't
mm-hmm.
exist anymore. It already lapsed. So that's different than
What if
it's burglarized, right?
my Lexus, which totally exists, what if I die
In
and
your
like
imagination.
I like no one knows that I haven't finished paying for it and then the bank takes it away? Or like does that like the payments I still have to do, does that go to like the person I leave it to?
Well, it depends on what you put there in the will. That's why when you draft your will, you gotta have to make sure that you have the proper wordings there, because otherwise it could be interpreted that you will continue paying for the
Mm,
existing mortgage or loan, or the estate will pay for it, which will definitely
mm,
sound better, right? But no, not really, because the other heirs will complain about that
mm.
because hey, whatever is left is ours, and then you're gonna take away
Oh,
money to pay for your car. So
wow.
that's why it's very important that where your language is very clear in your will. Otherwise, like I said, it'll be subject to a lot of contest. So yeah, now
Wow.
in that case, so you first you have to find a will, and then second secure the estate. Now um the next step is to go to court.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you have to find your attorney first to help you in the probate in probating your will. So once you find your attorney, and make sure that the attorney that you'll hire is one that is licensed to practice in that state because it's a state
Mm,
law. Okay. So once you found your attorney and your attorney will work with you, you will file an application to probate that will.
mm-hmm.
Okay, in court. So you have to file an application fee for that, and it varies depending on which county
Mm,
you're filing. So once you file that, what's going to happen next is that um, it will be, well, if there's a will, it will be posted. There is um, a posting requirement. It is like a notice to the public.
mm,
So they'll post like an announcement that so and so passed away, and other details like which county,
mm-hmm.
and who's going to be the contact person, blah, blah, blah. So all the details. They'll post it in the county where they usually post
Like
the
the
notice.
actual like the
They
actual
have a,
building.
yeah, they have a place there to
Oh
post it.
wow, wow.
And that's for 10 days posting.
Hmm.
So after,
So check every 10 days if you know someone.
oh, actually, they're doing that. There are people who are actually,
Wow, they're just
checking it
waiting for some
every single
people.
day.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, and why are they doing that? Because some people, they know that once the property is under probate, it could be sold later on, and then divide the proceeds among the heirs,
Wow.
right? So some people who are involved in a real estate business, they're there to see
Wow.
what opportunities they have there, right?
Wow.
So, and of course, the purpose of that is to notify the public so that if there's somebody who wanted to claim under the
Mm-hmm.
will or question the will, wanted to contest it, they can file their objection or their
Mm-hmm.
contest. They can come forward and let the court know.
We do have a question. Do all assets have to go through probate after someone passes away? My friend prepared a trust instead to avoid probate, and his family not be a may not be a public record.
You have a sharp
My
eyes.
glasses, they
Yeah.
are wealthy. Is this true? from Miguel Tamandong.
Hi, Miguel. I hope we know where Miguel is located. Well, assuming he's here in Texas
Mm-hmm.
or maybe Houston
This is a question from
or the
YouTube too.
surrounding. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay. All right. So, what's the question again?
Do all assets have to go through
Okay.
probate?
First, no, there are non-probate assets and probate assets. So when you say probate assets, these are the assets that we usually divide among the heirs, or we give them to the beneficiary in the will. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Non-probate assets are those that they don't belong to the estate of the deceased person anymore. Why? Because they already have designated the beneficiaries there. Like for example, life insurance. So if you bought
Mm.
a life insurance, you have a designated beneficiary there,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that means if you passed away, that beneficiary can come forward um, to the insurance company,
Mm-hmm.
claim for the benefits by showing your death certificate and the identification of that person. So it
Mm.
doesn't have to go through probate. So those are the non-probate assets. What else? Like pensions. You have already
Mm.
your designated beneficiary. So that's considered non-probate asset already.
Uh,
And then the trust.
Part
What is
two
it?
is my friend prepared a trust instead to avoid probate, and his family may not be a public record. I don't know what that means.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. Well, we haven't talked about trust really, but well, we talk about it a little. So, trust document, if you have a trust document and you funded your trust, which means the trust has property,
mm-hmm.
or maybe you created a trust and you transferred all your property, your assets into the trust so that those assets are no longer yours.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you passed away, they're no longer in your estate.
Mm-hmm.
So, they're not going to be probated. Meanwhile, your trust document has provisions there how to dispose, how to distribute those assets that are under the trust without going through probate. So because it's already been taken care of there.
Mm. And
Because that's not yours anymore. It
mm-hmm.
belongs to the trust. Because when you create a trust, it's like you created a person, and this
Mm-hmm.
person is the trust. You name the trust, and then you transfer your property into this person, so those properties are no longer yours.
Wow. Okay. Uh, it's a lot too. That's a
That's a lot to
yeah.
digest.
I don't think I have
You can
any.
ask me for more
Right.
examples. We'll
I mean,
try
I
our
see
best to give
this
you more
like
examples.
in movies where there's like no one's the person who died left everything to their dog. So there's like a trust because the dogs can't like manage
That's
stuff.
right. You cannot here in Texas. You cannot even if you love so much your pet, you cannot will it to your pet. You have to create a trust for your pet and will it to the trust.
And it's a whole thing. Like someone manages it,
Of
and
course, because the dog cannot manage it. The pet cannot
mhm.
manage
But
it.
like who manages it?
Well, the person you designated in that document,
Oh, so
like a
it's
trustee,
not
you call that person a trustee.
it's not like a company who manages. It's like an actual person.
Yeah, or it
And
could also be a company because there are companies here who are also
mm,
doing that. So, especially if it involves big amount of money, like $1 billion, $1 million.
because some of these are like property, like real estate, right? And they
Yeah,
maintain it.
yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah,
So, did we answer all the questions of
I
Miguel?
think so. Yeah, they said they are wealthy. Let me know their address and
What was the last thing that he said there?
is this true?
And I mean, before that.
They are wealthy.
No, before
Oh,
that.
my friend hired a trust. My friend prepared a trust instead to avoid probate, and his family may not be a public record.
Okay, yeah, not public record because whatever you file in court, let's say you filed the will,
Mm-hmm.
so everybody can see the will. It
Mm-hmm.
becomes a public record. But if it's so everybody knows what's in your will. Now
Mm-hmm.
later on, and which is also part of the probate, you're gonna do inventory and you're gonna file it in court, so everybody will know what this person left, so they know how wealthy this person is, and it
Wow.
becomes a public record as opposed to trust. Trust, you don't have to file it there, so it doesn't become a public record. So really, yeah, there's
Wow.
if you're thinking about more of privacy, or keeping things within the family, then maybe trust is a good document for you to execute.
It's very mysterious.
What do you mean mysterious?
Because like no one knows what you have. Like that's what I'm gonna do. So people think I actually have anything.
Well, there's pros and cons, but it depends actually what your purpose really is, why
Hmm.
you're doing things. Some people they like to do probate, some people, trust. Now, next step will be what? What's the first step again?
Finding where the document
The will,
is,
where the will is,
take
and
it to
then
court with a
no,
lawyer.
you forgot secure the
Oh, secure.
estate.
Yes, yes. That's
Because
what I would not do.
and then and then file your application for probate once you already found your
Hmm.
attorney. So now during the process, so we were talking about earlier, file the application, and then it will be posted for 10 days. After 10 days, that's when you start working with who are, look at the will, who are the beneficiaries that are in the will, because you need to notify them.
Hmm.
Okay, they need to be served. When I say served, you'll have to actually request for citations in court, and a constable or a sheriff will personally serve them a copy of the petition, the application for probate that you filed, and a copy of the will, because they need to be notified that you are probating the will. And who are these beneficiaries? They are the if you look at the will, you'll find their names in that will. They
Hmm.
are the recipient beneficiaries. Uh, they are the, what is the term, the legatees. they
Oh.
they they were named there in the will to receive something. So there, in a will, there is a specific bequest and the residuary bequest. Specific bequests are the specific gifts. Like for example,
Hmm.
this piano goes to A, this set of earrings goes to B. Those
Hmm.
are specific bequests. Now, whatever it is that you did not include there will be part of the residuary. Now, who are the beneficiaries of your residuary? These are the people that you name there. Let's say, for example, if you have children, it goes to all my children in equal share. So they are all your
Mm.
beneficiaries there. So they need, all of them need, they need to be notified. They need to receive that citation. They need to be served, so that if they have a contest, they can file it in court or
Hmm.
however. But that is the requirement.
Wow.
Now, every service is a fee, you know that, right?
Mm.
You request
Yeah.
for a citation, I believe it's $8, and then constable
Okay.
service is around $75. So
That's for them to go to the person.
that one person.
Uh-huh.
No,
Per
no, no, no.
person. Oh wow.
Because you're gonna serve them
Yeah.
individually. So imagine if the sheriff is serving 10 as opposed
Wow.
to only one.
Hmm.
That's why you have to
Can it
pay for
just
the
be like
fees.
go to one and tell them to get the other the other 10?
Yeah, you have to personally serve them. And if you can't personally serve them, you have to request for you have to file a motion for substituted service. Like for
Mm.
example, you don't know where they live. I mean, you try to serve them personally, but they're not there all the time.
Hmm.
So you can serve them use through certified mail. It depends on what the judge will say. The judge have to approve it. So, or the easiest way is to, if you don't want to serve them and they want to cooperate, um, you can just ask them to sign a waiver, waiving their rights to receive notices.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
it's all about trust there. If they trust you, they're gonna sign that waiver because they know that you're
mm,
gonna do your job, and
mm,
that you can be trustworthy.
all right. I guess
Yeah,
before we continue, let's have another break and we will be right back to talk about more.
stick around.
In a world filled with fleeting moments, there's beauty waiting to be captured. My name is Christian, and I specialize in immortalizing your most precious memories. From elegant weddings to vibrant events and timeless portraits, I'm here to make every moment unforgettable. Let me tell your story through the lens. Contact me today and let's create magic.
Did you use you?
All
Oh,
right.
yeah. We're back.
We were just looking at the commercials.
Yeah, and I was asking Christian, what did you use to create? Because this is his business. It's really good in all those photo shoots, professional
Yeah,
photo
call
shoots,
me.
right? So what do you
Email me.
usually serve? Like
Uh,
weddings?
I've done everything. You know, in the Philippines, they say KBP. It's like kasal, binyag, patay. I've done that. I've done
Oh,
funerals,
like prenups, like that.
prenups, yeah, actual weddings.
Quinceañeras
Yes,
here.
to like, and
Okay.
even like other cultures. Like, uh, I've done like Bosnian weddings and
Wow.
like, yeah, like if anything, because like I do have like a lot of like other photographer friends who just
Mhm.
call me if they need someone. So yeah, a lot of different experiences. So like
I,
events and
I really
everything.
want to ask Christian about this. It's not about probate, but I'm gonna ask him
Yeah.
anyway. Um, so a lot of people now are using cell phones, cell
Mm-hmm.
phones,
Mm-hmm.
and they turn out to be really good. And there's a lot of apps that could edit it.
Mm-hmm.
That is gonna make you look like slimmer,
Yeah. I mean, there's
whiter,
AI too.
longer hair. So really, I mean, you'll be surprised how you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
look like after you see the product. So how different is that from the camera that you're using? I mean, the type of art
I guess it
work that
depends
you're
on
doing.
like the purpose. Yeah. So if it's like very simple stuff, you just just want photos for like dating apps, go ahead and use your phone. But it's like
I would love to have a professional picture for a dating app,
there's
right?
like a level of like you don't have to think about it anymore. So that's why we're there for. That's why we
Yeah, I
study
like that
this.
because I just want to smile.
Yeah,
Sometimes
yeah,
it's
because it's a
tiring
lot
too.
of stress too. Like like sometimes I plan to like the venue, and like instead of like just having your cousin and your wedding with a cell phone, like sometimes people forget. Like sometimes people get me for like birthdays because they don't want to forget like to take a picture while they're just like hanging out with the family or friends. So that's one less thing to think about, and like just uh so you can enjoy more. Yeah,
Mm.
so that's like also like you don't want to miss like anything. Like one of my friends, they had like a engagement shoot, or someone proposed, their boyfriend proposed to them, and they didn't like hire anyone. So it's like another thing of like, how do I capture this moment and then still think about like, how do I ask her the question? So it's like you wouldn't, and you sometimes people like regret, they regret not getting someone who actually knows how to take a
Yeah, because
photo.
it'll turn out that they don't look
Yeah,
really good
yeah,
on
and
that,
it's
and it's a
actually,
lifetime
if it's like too
of
dark in the venue, like not all phones can do that, or like still editing too. There's a lot of like flexibility if we use our cameras than a cell phone. But like for like simple purposes, cell phones like really good too.
Yeah, and that reminds me, your work products are actually also part of your estate. So you don't say that
Hmm.
you don't have anything
So
because
if I
you
have
have.
like
That's part of your essay. That is a probate
this is
asset.
like way artists, like like Michael Jackson, they have like a whole thing
Mhm.
about their work and
Yeah,
everything. Oh.
all that. So your work products, your intellectual property, those are also part of your estate. So, like if you're receiving royalties, so you
Mm-hmm.
will continue the estate. Your estate will be
Wow.
receiving those royalties still, and they'll be part of the estate that will be distributed among the heirs, among
Mm-hmm.
the beneficiaries, if you have a will. So, okay, I know that we're running out of time
I
already.
know we have
How fast
eight
is that?
minutes
Wait a minute, we're still in the process. Okay, so we already filed the probate. We already filed the application for probate of the
Mm-hmm.
will. There's already a service.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's gonna happen next? Then you'll have to set the hearing. There will be
Mm-hmm.
a probate hearing. Okay, you cannot avoid that. Now, it will be more complicated if there are contests, but if it's just a simple probate, which means that nobody's contesting it, then you can proceed to the probate, prove up of the will. So you're going to go to the court. Sometimes you do it by via Zoom if the court allows Zoom.
Mm.
If they require in person, if they will require in person hearing, then you gotta have to go to the court. But of course, the original will have to be filed in the court before you can set it for hearing. So after the hearing, so when what's gonna happen during that hearing is you're gonna have to prove that the will is valid, and then you're gonna ask the court that the executor, even though the executor is already named in the will,
Mm-hmm.
that the court still has to appoint that through a court order, to appoint the executor through a court order. So after you get after the hearing, and the judge approved or granted, or I mean, approved the probate, then the judge will sign the order approving
Mhm.
it and appointing the executor as an independent or either independent or dependent executor. And once it's done, the appointed executor will have to take the oath,
Mhm.
sign that oath, and it will also be filed in court. And of course, you're gonna have to submit your testimony in writing. Of course, submit it, file it in court as well. And then after that, you'll have to notify the
The people in
the
the will.
creditors, of
Mm.
course, the creditors, and of course the beneficiaries. You have to let
Mhm.
them know, hey, I'm already appointed, right?
Wait, what's the difference between creditors and the beneficiaries?
Let's say imagine your house, the house of the deceased person has a
Mhm.
mortgage.
Oh, those
So those
creditors.
creditors, and we have credit cards.
Mhm.
We have secured and unsecured creditors. Can
Mhm.
have to definitely you have to
Oh.
notify the secured creditors. Mostly those are the mortgage company because
Mhm.
it's secured loan, right? So you have to notify them because they have a stake in the house. If you don't pay it, you miss payment, you defaulted, they can go ahead and have
Take
it
it back.
foreclose it. But you
Mm.
don't want that to happen, so you gotta have to notify them and you have to deal with them.
Mm.
So that's part of that as well. And then after that, you'll have to do the inventory. What are the estate? What are the properties that belong to the estate? And then you'll have to share that information with all the heirs, and then file it in court. And once it's approved, you can start distributing. Pay first, of course, the expenses. The first thing you're gonna pay, of course, are the funeral expenses,
Mm.
medical, hospitalization, and then all the other expenses that you have to pay. And when everything has already been paid, then you can start distributing the
Mm.
assets on the estate of the deceased person. And that's it. Oh no, not yet. You still have to file taxes, of course. In Texas, we don't have estate tax,
Mm.
but you still have to file that tax in order for the
Oh.
to comply with the requirement.
And then this, like, for example, that everything's done, and I know, or someone else, someone knows they're gonna get like the house, and so there's still like another paper, like different paperwork to transfer the name and
That is
everything.
correct. Yes, you will need to have a transfer document, a deed, to transfer the title of that property, of that house, of the real property to the recipient, whoever, or the
Hmm.
beneficiary in the will.
And this will makes it easier for that to happen.
Yes, of course, because uh, the appointed executor will execute the deed and will sign there as the appointed executor and transfer the title to the new owner, to the beneficiary. Oh, we
All
have a
right, we do
question
have
here.
a question from Mr. Orlando R. Dizon.
Attorney Orlando Ardizan. Yeah.
Why are probate lawyers usually why probate lawyers usually call the contested wills the final battleground of a dysfunctional family? Oh, may
Wow.
pinanghuhugutan
I
ba?
know. Meron ba? Parang wala naman. Ano ba yan? Hindi. May katotohanan yan. Kasi, nakikita nyo rin sa movie, may katotohanan yun yung napapanood nyo sa
Mm-hmm.
movie. During probate, if it's a heavily contested probate, lahat ng sikreto, lahat ng madudumi, madidilim, mga pangit na sikreto ng pamilya ay lumalabas. That's the
Mm.
final battleground.
Mm.
Like for example, let's say pinamanahan sa'yo lahat, 'di ba? Unfair naman 'yan kasi just because ikaw nag-alaga towards the last day of his life, bibigay sa'yo lahat. Paano
Mm.
naman ako? I also
Wala. Di mo
show
inalagaan eh.
love and respect. So, and I think Christian, alam mo, I think Christian, I will contest it because I think that my grandfather, our grandfather, right, for example, our grandfather was there's a fraud in here because you exercise undue influence just because you were there and grandfather can no longer see and you said no, this is just a signature for the bill, and then you ask him to sign that will,
Wow.
right? So
You know my plan.
I know you're a criminal mind,
I
Christian.
think a movie I know this happens is, have you seen Knives Out? It's a good movie. It's just this
Is it in Netflix?
Netflix, yeah,
What
yeah.
is it?
Knives Out.
Oh no,
So this
I'll be looking for it tonight.
the person who takes care of the like the rich grandfather, they're not related, so it's just like a nanny. The grandfather names like everything to the nanny, and then the family comes over and they all like blame each other, try to kill each other, stuff like that.
Mm.
So yeah, over this.
Yeah, like for example, in a real life, no, um, I, our grandfather gave you $1 billion,
Mm-hmm.
and then I realized, wait a minute, you don't deserve it because at some point um, you tried to kill him before, so
Mm.
you're not in
That's
good faith.
that's how I just get it in advance. Or at least like in the Philippines, like, oh, they doesn't deserve it kasi adik yan, or they have like vices or whatever, right?
So kaya naman yung wife, oh, the wife doesn't deserve anything because of infidelity, may mga ginawa siya na. So
Yeah.
kaya that's why it says a final battleground of a dysfunctional family, because look how dysfunctional would that be, right? If they're fighting over
Wow.
the money, over the
Yeah.
estate, and they try to throw mud against each other, try
Hmm.
to discredit each other. So what kind of family is that?
Yeah, me and my
Dysfunctional.
sisters. Well, I mean, everyone sees like their like aunties and like titas and titos. Like they like when growing up, like as Filipinos, I think we all saw that happen. So like me and my sisters, we already talk about, oh, like let's not just fight about this, and we tell our parents, hey, use all your money before you go, and we like don't worry about us. So I don't know if it still happened. I think that's my plan. So they would actually don't care. Like my sisters won't care. They just
Your
give it to me.
sisters, but remember, if it's just you siblings, you
Mm-hmm.
probably can settle things. But if there are other persons involved, like for example,
Mm-hmm.
the husband, the wife, they are not part of your family. I mean, they are uh, what do you
They're
call
still
this?
separate.
Extended family
Mm-hmm.
already, di ba? Kasi they're not really bloodlines.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say, for example, ako sister mo, tayo okay lang, Christian, you know what, sa'yo na lahat yan, I don't
Mm-hmm.
need it.
Thank you.
You know? Pero sabi ng husband ko, no, you get your half.
Ah,
So, mag-away kami, di ba?
yeah.
Pero syempre, para hindi na mag- oh, sige na nga, Christian, I'm sorry, I'm gonna get my other half. So,
Mm.
ngayon magagalit ka. You already promised because I already,
Binenta ko na.
na-promise ko na sa iba. So, gulo na, di ba?
Mm.
So, that's why it's always better to put it
Wow.
in writing. Put it in writing.
Nice.
Right?
Wow.
Hindi pwedeng
That's.
verbal ano lang. Kaya nga dito sa Texas, there's no such thing as verbal will.
Mm.
Cupative will ang tawag doon sa verbal. Hindi mo pwede yan, kailangan in writing. Hindi ko pwedeng sabihin, mamamatay na ako, gusto kong ibigay sa'yo lahat, Christian, kasi ang
Mm.
bait-bait mo.
Nice.
Ganon. Hindi pwede yun.
I
Kahit
thought
na binidyo
that's
mo,
what I was
binidyo mo
trying.
pa
That's why
ako.
I'm trying to like charm all the titos and titas here in Houston.
That's why you're trying to be very nice to them,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
What
So
do you
maybe
need,
they'll remember
tita?
me.
Yeah. What do you need, tita? Do you need something? It's okay, I'll do it for you. Just remember, put my name there.
Here's you can sign this for me.
Okay, so did we address all the questions?
Yeah, yeah, and that's an hour. Oh, there's a link here. Let's see what this goes to. Oop, nope. I think that's a virus. Someone said that's a virus. But yeah, that's an hour. That
Do you
that,
believe
that
we
went
have
so
73?
fast.
Do you believe we have 73 viewers right now?
Wow. Wow.
That's a
Where are you
lot.
from?
Hey guys,
Comment and
can you
like.
please comment there? Type your name, where you from, and
Mhm.
well, Christian will have something
Yeah, I'll put
exciting
you
for
in my
you.
will to receive all my
Like
debts.
$1 each. That's true. There's a will that the dad just gave $1
Wow.
to one of the sons.
And then how many to the others?
Well, of course, the big
The more.
ones, right? Instead of this
Wow.
this inheriting that sign,
At least they're on
he
it.
just gave him $1.
That's better than like
This
forgetting you
inheriting.
completely.
That's even worse because you're gonna have to spend more fighting for that, and
Oh
you're
wow.
gonna end up just for one
And they're
dollar.
gonna spend like $75 just to get you, just to tell you have $1.
So, well, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Yes.
And what time is it now, Christian?
It's 7:03.
7:03 because we started late.
Yeah, you want to talk about like the next shows?
Yes. So, the next show will be last Wednesday of the month, and that will be, I'm not sure, I didn't check my calendar, but that will be what, March
March?
something. Come on, Christian.
I
Pull up
know
your
my
calendar
thoughts
right
though.
away.
That's gonna be March 27th.
March 27th. So join us for another legal treats. And next episode, we'll talk about what?
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 I don't wanna jinx it. But we're gonna talk about divorce.
Yes.
Ooh.
Well, you know, in the Philippines, I think the only country without a divorce law is the Philippines, except you know,
If you
uh,
got married
no, I
here.
mean except that Vatican because I don't, yeah,
Oh,
but
oh. Wow, I didn't know that. We're the only ones?
yeah, we're the only
Wow.
one, Philippines. So
Number one or number two.
number one, right? So, well, why are we mentioning this? Because um, we're going to talk about divorce next time. Some Filipinos, or not just Filipinos, some people here in the state of Texas, they filed a divorce petition for divorce here against the spouse who is not here in Texas. It's either
Hmm.
they're in the Philippines or in China,
Or
in
hiding.
Indonesia, or somewhere outside Texas, outside the US. Can they do that? Can you
We'll
file
find
a
out.
petition for divorce here against your spouse who is in the Philippines? Let's say, for example, you have been separated for a long time. You're here working, let's say 10 years here, and your
Mm-hmm.
spouse is in the Philippines, and you don't know what your spouse is doing there. You didn't know that spouse moved on without you,
Wow.
has
Ouch.
another family, and you're here working so hard, and then you realize, or somebody told you, hey, did you know that blah blah blah, right? My mga marites dyan. Or
Oh, wow.
Facebook, you saw it in Facebook, who is this girl, and then little
Wow.
did you know, he already or she already has a family there in the Philippines, and you're here by yourself working so hard sending money there. Now you said,
Immigrant
yeah,
problems.
that is not fair. I want a divorce here so that I can also move on in my
Mm.
life and have my own family here who's not going to cheat on me back,
Mm-hmm.
right? So can you do that?
We'll
You,
find out.
you'll find out when you watch next episode, March 27th,
7. Yeah.
6 p.m. Texas time, and that will be March 28th in the Philippines, 6, 7, 8, 8 a.m. in the
Mm-hmm.
morning.
Yeah. So
And many more about divorce
if
and
they
family
didn't
law.
if they didn't greet you this Valentine's, maybe consider it.
No naman, wag naman. Divorce actually is supposed to be not the first
They
solution.
try to preserve the marriage first,
Yeah,
right?
try to preserve it. It's a family, the family value, you want to keep it there. But if
Oh,
it's really not working anymore, divorce is just a last solution that you can use in order for you to save, preserve your own self, preserve
yeah.
your
Talk
life.
about it first. I guess one last,
Oh, there's
and
another.
this
Okay, may
this also
pahabol pa.
relates to the next episode. Now I'm a U.S. citizen. I've divorced my spouse in the Philippines when I'm green card holder. Can I remarry?
You know what? We'll
Hmm.
answer that one
All right. Or just
in
call the
our
law
next
firm and
episode.
consult
I don't
here.
know. So we'll see you next what?
Next month.
Next month. Wow. We should.
Do this more
I
often.
know, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you like us to do this more often? Send us a message. Post your comments. Say if you want us to do this often, then just once a month, let us
Hmm.
know. And Christian and I will try to make it happen.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of legal problems in there that we
I
gotta
know,
we gotta
right?
talk
Si
about.
Christian lang walang legal problems. Masaya sa
Not
buhay ito
yet.
eh.
Yeah, not yet.
Not,
I'm
don't
hiding
wait
from
for
them.
it.
Yeah.
Don't wait for it. Yeah. So anyway, thank you so much for watching us. Again, you can watch the recorded live show
On
where
Facebook and YouTube, and then
of Lawin Media Network.
mhm. And also like on different podcast
That's
platforms.
right. And we would like to thank Lawin Media Network, our producer, and of course in partnership with the Philippine
With a
With a
PH.
PH, Philippine American Chamber of Commerce, Greater Houston Region. Awesome
All right.
organization, right? All right. Thank you. Have a good one. See you next time, Christian.
Bye. Thank
Bye
you.
bye.